Why? Did something in the news catch your eye or something? Or you?
No, just for fun.
I
There's
didn't
there's
know.
been a lot in the news that have caught a few of my eyeballs. I'm not sure how many eyeballs I have.
There's been a lot. There's been a lot in the news.
Yeah,
Um, there's been enough in the news for me to be happy that there is enough news to talk about because these games this week are horrendous.
diarrhea, dookie, bullshit.
There's pretty much besides like two really, really, really interesting matchups. There's
Yeah,
pretty much nothing. We're
there's
obviously
one
gonna talk.
really, really big one that's very important.
Uh, I mean,
It's pretty important.
well, there's two. I say there's two that are pretty important.
Yeah.
But obviously we'll talk about all week 15 games. We'll talk about a horrendous Thursday night football game. We got some
Not a
NBA,
fan.
some a Thursday night football. Let's talk
I mean,
about it.
Thursday
Let's
night
talk
football
about
has
it.
been much better than last year's Thursday night football.
Mm-hmm.
This was bad. Not not good.
So Thursday night football. I mean, it was 12-6. There
Mhm.
were no touchdowns. It was Rams, 49ers in the rain. Um, I mean, really, I mean, and to me, it was really either going to go that way or it was going to be, two teams like just putting it all out there trying to win the division. But I mean, the 49ers are so banged up that I didn't really expect much from them. The
No.
Rams, I mean, in the beginning of the game, I was like, all right,
Yep.
I thought maybe they were going to start to cook, but I don't know. It felt like the more that rain came down, it was just, I don't know. It was
Yeah.
it was so boring, bro, that 49ers players were
Just
walking off the
not
walking off
wanting
the
to be there.
field and walking. So let's talk
It's a
about that.
weird. It's such a weird situation. This is.
So Devandre Campbell, that is the most important person or thing.
Well, no,
With
that's the most important topic out of this Thursday. Like, there nothing else happened that was bigger than him not wanting to play. Like, nothing
so
in the game was more important than whatever the hell happened here.
so on Thursday he was a 49er
Hmm.
and now he's a free agent.
Of course.
Because I
When did
guess
he
there's
get
some.
cut today?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was released today. He will not play. He will not play another snap as a San Francisco 49er after
This
pulling
year.
that off. So I don't I don't know if he ever will.
We'll never know. I mean,
I don't know
Deshaun
because
Jackson went back to the Eagles at some point. I think maybe. I can't remember.
yeah, but
I have no idea.
here's the thing though. If Deshaun Jackson, let's say, walked off the field at some point, like okay, like Antonio
If
Brown wasn't
AB,
getting
yeah.
Antonio Brown isn't going back to the Bucks,
AB's not going back to the. He didn't come back to the league after that.
Antonio Brown, he's not going back to the Bucks. Um, to be honest, I'm sure there's other players that we're forgetting that walked off of the field. Um,
Well, Vontae Davis retired.
See, he retired at halftime, so that was interesting because I mean, at
Yeah.
least he had like the decency to not publicly do it. I guess he did it um away. He did it,
Now,
in the locker room.
yes. Now, I'm not
So
entirely sure of what the situation is. I'm going to be honest. I'm not big on the name of DeAndre Campbell. I'm not really entirely sure of who that
well,
guy is.
from
I wish I
what
knew, but
well, he was a Falcon. So yeah,
shout out Shane.
Me and Shane were talking about that earlier, but
Good for Shane.
I mean, from what I've gathered, from everything I've seen, he just wasn't happy with the amount of snaps he was playing, and he decided to just leave. And I don't know. I haven't seen him speak about it. I don't know if he will. I mean, I'm sure. Honestly, I mean, it'll be a bag if he goes and does an interview about and talks about it somewhere. So
Yeah.
go get a check or something. But
Go to ESPN.
um, I mean, I don't without like the humor. I mean, do you really take anything from it?
No. I take
I
nothing from it.
I mean,
Like,
I kind of do. in terms of like there are so many players who would die to be in your position.
And and
Or
and and that's what I'd say. Like from an NFL perspective, I don't take from the 49ers perspective, I don't take anything from it. Obviously, Kittle and a few other guys had things to say about it, but it
what's his name? I don't want to. I do not want to blunder his first name. Ward. Um,
which one?
Chavarius.
Travari.
Chavar. I didn't want to. I didn't want to. I didn't want to fuck
I
it
think
up,
it's
but
Travari.
fuck it.
Whatever.
He was talking about it, and he was I can't remember the quote, but he was like that's some he I think he called him soft or whatever the case may be, and he is. I think he is an absolute bitch. I mean, to me, it's like give me Travis Hunter playing his heart out on both sides of the field if it means less players like Devandre Campbell or on rosters. I mean,
Now,
I don't
I
get
mean,
it.
the problem with it is like obviously he practiced coming up to this week, and then decided not to play. If he had asked to be released or anything like that, and whatever, and just gone on his way, then that's a different story. But um, obviously, we don't know exactly what happened, but
I think if he had 3 sacks and a forced fumble in the first half, maybe he wouldn't feel the need to walk off the field. Maybe because he's a bum who doesn't play
yeah,
much.
no,
He's just
of
really only
course,
playing because of the injuries they're dealing with,
the absence of
and
Bosa and a few other guys. Yeah.
I I don't know. It's just like if Matthew Slater can appreciate his role for almost 2 decades, it's like
And
you
it's
can't.
and you have to appreciate that an NFL player can be an NFL player and not want to, I don't know, seek
I
things that
mean,
are
what be
outside of his
it's like you
attainment.
can tell you can like it's like you can't there's no obvious like sign that like TJ Watt is trying to be the best defensive player in the world. Like there's
No, he's
no
trying to fucking
like
hit the
he's just
quarterback.
he's playing his style of football which
Yeah,
happens to make him the best defensive player in the world, or Miles Garrett, or like if you just
any of
name
these guys.
like like there's not many players who are like our guy over in like Antonio, like Coach Pierce said, there's not many guys going into business for themselves.
No,
um and I would say that this has got to be the biggest going into business for yourself move probably of all time. I guess besides the retirement at halftime, but see the retirement at halftime, it's like still like you said, it's like
but
maybe not
but
if you're released
it's the
before the
exit
game.
of the business. Like
Yeah,
he's not seeking anything from leaving the Bills. He's seeking to stop playing football. Like Devandre Campbell, it's more of I guess issues with the 49ers team
mm.
instead of him playing football forever.
But I mean, I guess But see, another thing is like this isn't. I mean, do you think he's gonna be on a roster next year?
I don't know enough about the guy and his stats, and if he is worth it, then sure. I mean,
So it would have to be a team
if
that doesn't give a fuck.
no, yeah, if the Saints can fucking
I mean, I'm just
snag the
saying,
guy for cheap as shit, then they'll
bro is
snag
in
a
a
guy for cheap as shit.
bro's in a position to be a guy that you can bring in, maybe snap count, and he's just going to
But
play on the defensive line.
for him in his career, I think there are much better ways to go about doing this. Um, it's okay to ask for a trade or to ask to be released, but to practice up until the game and then to decide not to play is an issue for not only the 49ers but future teams.
And also, it's like I could sit here, I could read stats, we could talk about it, but we don't have to like sit here and read stats about T.J. Watt or Miles Garrett, like or any dominant pass rusher or
Yeah.
like if we're talking about the Eagles, like we're not. Oh, hold on, let's pull out the stat
Pull out
sheet
Jalen
for
Carter's
the
stats.
defensive line. It's like we know
Yeah.
what's going on over there. We see it. This is not some guy. It's like even the shit that AB pulled. If he wanted to, he could have continued to play football.
For sure. I mean, AB had an
His
opportunity to
skill.
play for a long time, and it was just his personal
I
things
mean,
that
yeah, his skill would have kept him in the game. I mean,
I mean,
would have kept him in the
Odell
league
is still
100%.
talked about as being a threat on a team.
Odell, he was released a day or two ago,
Two yeah,
two
2 days
days
ago, I
ago,
think. Yeah,
which was odd, but that's a
I
whole other.
saw a lot of support from the Ravens fan base saying,
No,
bring him back. I saw it.
absolutely
I
not.
seen
No,
it.
you didn't. I didn't see that.
I seen it.
I didn't see a damn thing. There's no way you
Maybe
saw.
it was maybe it was a one person. Maybe it was 18,000 people. I can't remember how many
It could have
people it
been
was, but there
one,
was some people who seen it.
maybe one person was like, "Yo, y'all
Come
thought
back
about."
home.
There's absolutely me, and he has to be more of an Odell fan than a Ravens fan because there's no way.
It would
We got
suck.
enough. We got enough
Imagine,
drama like that.
imagine. That's the sad thing about the NBA is like imagine being in the NFL, like being an NFL fan, but you're a fan of one player,
In the NFL?
special. Yeah, in the NFL, and you were a fan of Odell. That would suck a lot. Um,
Yeah, being fans of just the player in the NFL is a lot harder.
it really doesn't work.
No, well, especially if you're a fan of a team and then a player. Like I know people who were,
Yes.
or who people who were are. Oh, I like Odell, so now I'm gonna root for the Giants, and now they're stuck being a Giants fan. Like there's
Like
people like that.
when you're 10, 11, 12 years old, you're like, I'm a huge Odell fan. I'm from fucking I don't know, Western Virginia. I don't know who to root for, and then you're now a fan of the New York Giants.
I
Not
mean,
fun.
bro, say you live in Michigan, say you live in Ohio, say you live in Wisconsin, and you're 10 years old, and you go and you saw the catch, the one-handed catch, and you go, "Oh, I'm a Giants fan."
Yeah,
I mean, you could be
sucks.
surrounded by a team,
Now there are some strong in those areas that you reference. There's some strong fan bases there that aren't really
even
player based.
so, I think you can see. But I have been a Ravens fan my entire life.
Yeah,
I'm fans of other players. I'm able to put that aside when it comes to like if they're matching up against the Ravens
of course.
or if or really anything else. But it's just if you're just a fan of a player or if you're a fan player,
Problem.
a player of a fan of a player first before a team.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it definitely turns into a big problem. I mean, the NBA, it's like one of five on the court. They could be a superstar and easily
Like
you could
honestly, there's not a whole lot of like outside of the city that the basketball team plays in. There's not a whole lot of in area fans. It's not like a whole state like Wisconsin. The entire state of Wisconsin roots for Green Bay Packers. It
yeah,
doesn't
but
happen
I
in the
mean,
NBA.
yeah, except for like I don't know, like
I
you
guess Milwaukee will, all of Wisconsin will root for Milwaukee, but there's a lot of LeBron fans,
see, but that's the
a
thing.
lot
It's
of
like,
Kobe fans, there's a lot of whatever fans,
but there's a lot of Knicks fans.
a lot of Knicks fans, a lot of Bulls
There's
fans, a lot of whatever fans.
A lot of Boston fans.
Yeah, it's a
But and that's the
different
thing.
game, and
Everybody
that's
in that New England area, Celtics.
it's all Celtics. But that's the thing I love about the NFL is like it's so regionally based that you can shit on a fan base in a specific area. It's like when I shit on if anyone shits on LeBron fans, there's no pinpointing them. But if we shit on Buffalo fans, I can put them in
But
a
you can make
box.
fun of LeBron.
No, I'm saying no. Of course we can, but I'm saying that with the fans, we can put the Buffalo fans in a specific area and say these people
There's only
love the
two
Bills.
specific. There's a couple NBA stereotypes like Boston fans might not be the racist or might not be a little
Utah,
racist. Might be a little racist. Might not be the nicest.
Utah Jazz.
Might not be. Yeah, you got
No,
Utah.
Boston is mistakenly looked at as like
I don't think it's
we're northern.
mistaken.
Maybe there's no mistakes, but
Well, here, let me not cut you off. Finish what you were saying. We're northern. What?
I'm saying that it's a northern state in the history of America,
Super.
but it is an incredibly racist
Yeah.
state and city.
I mean, the
But
fans are just the fans are. And not all of them, but I mean, even
no, but if
even
you
though
if you
they're
if you listen
Boston
to an interview from any NBA
NBA
player who
players,
hasn't played for the Celtics,
and
it
like
makes sense.
I know YouTubers who are fans of Celtics who are like, yeah, some of them are bad. Like
There's a lot of them, man.
it's ugly, but there are no. I don't know if there are any Devandre Campbell fans.
I'm gonna be again. I didn't know the guy's name.
It's because he's. I mean, bro had a
I may have
little.
heard it at some point, but
Bro had, for me, all I really remember is his run in Atlanta. Like he had a little high in Atlanta, but
for
there's
the birds.
it ain't there ain't enough move enough wiggle room for him to just walk out on the 49ers. I mean, that's, you got to think, like, the way is Steve Smith the one that put it when he was like talking about Jerry Jeudy. It's like, when teams call me and ask about
I'm
you, I'm gonna
saying
tell them.
I'm saying not
So it's like, you got to think, like, the 49ers are a respectable organization,
for
and
sure.
there's probably other organizations calling, like, so, like, was it, like, really that bad? And the 49ers might be like, yo, stay away from bro at all costs.
Now, like if there was if he had a certain level of respect outside of his own organization, where he was maybe respected by other teams, it's a possible, like, for him to play so well that he was respected league wide. But I don't think that he was. Like, I think
But
he
do you,
was on the 49ers and was a guy there. And, like, if
but
you want to
okay.
have your problems, figure out your problems. But it's like, where are your issues with this football team? Is it because that they're not giving you enough snaps, or they're not doing this or not doing that, or whatever?
Do you think that do you think there's a world where if a team that's not just held at such a high regard as San Francisco, that maybe Colin Kaepernick doesn't get pushed out the league?
It's a great question.
Like, do you think there were teams calling about Kaepernick to San Francisco, and, like, they were like, I don't know if you make that move, but if he did it for, like, who's an organization that everybody hates? I would
Everybody
see
hates
out,
her
and
or sucks.
well, either or, because I was gonna say, like, you can't do like Dallas because that's America's team. You can't
Patriots,
if he would have
everybody
pulled that
hates.
shit. Patriots, see, and there's no world where Colin Kaepernick is doing that for New England because they're
No.
hated because of Tom Brady. So
Yeah.
let's just say, like, oh, he did it for, like, the Raiders or something, the
Yeah.
Chargers. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I think there's a world where it's like they might take his word over the organization's word, and it's like, obviously that was a way bigger and different situation. But
But it was outside of the realm of football, you know?
yeah, but you got to think. I mean, there were teams still interested, in outside things kept him away from coming to
Well,
Baltimore.
no, and it was not the things that happened during his time with San Francisco that ruined his time afterward. It
And
was the things that came afterward that ruined his time with the organizations that he could have been a part of. Like you said, Baltimore.
John absolutely,
We've personally spoken with people who came up to us and said that the reason we did not sign Colin Kaepernick is because of his girlfriend, and because of his antics, and because of the things that, and because of the problems that he was causing. Like, I've personally, now granted, I was in, what was it, high school, middle school,
yeah,
whatever that
high
was.
school, whatever it was. It was
But we
was it
personally,
2016.
high school, ninth, eighth
2017.
grade, whatever.
It was.
But it was a personal experience with people who knew what was happening and
Yeah.
could not give him the opportunity because of the way that they were treating the organization. So the Kaepernick issue is a little bit different,
And
but
John definitely talked to Jim. I was like, "Yo,"
always.
and Jim
Of
must have
course.
been like, "Yeah, give it
Shit.
a shot."
John talked to Jim when y'all got when not y'all, but when the uh
JK?
Chargers got Gus
Yeah,
and what's his nuts?
no chance. No chance he didn't. But
JK
yeah.
and
So
Gus. It's like how the fuck does it go brother to brother
I
like
guess
that?
with all that said, the Rams win. We're one
Mm-hmm.
and 0 on predictions this week. The Rams are still fighting for the NFC West. And at this point, I guess I'm rooting for them to win this division.
I am. No,
I
I
think
am.
they'd be the most interesting or entertaining team to make to represent the West in the playoffs.
And I think that they by far are the most interesting team to represent the West. I mean, like you've said all year long, the Seahawks are not. They're not
not
that. Geno's
not
not
it.
that. They're not it. Um, the Cardinals have done a few things this year, not a whole lot. Um, again, I mean, it'd be cool to see Marvin do his thing a little bit, but it just hasn't really pulled through like crazy. And then who the fuck else is in the West? The Niners.
The
They're
Niners, and
they're
that's
they're very old at this point. They're the oldest roster in the league, and they have been for a few years.
are they
I'd have to double
really?
check.
Are they really?
I think they are. Yeah,
Wow.
they're one of them. I mean, they're pretty old. I mean, Kittle is old, and Debo's older, and a lot of these guys are fairly old. Um, CMC's old for a running back.
Yeah.
But, you know, the Rams and their receiving core is definitely the most interesting thing to look out for.
All right. I guess let's predict these week 15 games, Devin, because
Bing bong.
I'm not gonna lie, there is sadly, besides the two games that I think we will get into a little bit, not much to talk about.
It's
You
not.
got Baltimore going up against the
Yep.
New York Giants.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, honestly, the
This
bigger
is
story. What?
this is Lamar's only loss
This is
to an NFC
second.
team.
One of two. Philly.
Philly. You're right.
So he's only lost to NFC West,
23-2.
NFC East teams. I don't think they lose.
No.
I do think they win. Honestly, the bigger story is Derrick Henry cutting his hair off.
That no one that I've talked to about this has like said anything.
What do you mean?
Like I've brought it up with people that I know, and no one has like had an opinion about it. For me, at least, it's a little weird.
What do you
I don't know. Like it's like
mean?
Henry has had his hair since college
Yeah,
when he was probably
high
since high
school.
school.
Oh yeah,
High
high
school.
school. Yeah,
He had that shit rocking in high school. Like I doubt that it means anything to his performance or that it could. But it's weird that it's like why now? Why are we doing this mid season with like no there was a I was playing high school golf and the freshman year and the coach was like I was about to get new clubs and the coach was like don't change your clubs mid season. I was like I'm gonna change it mid season and and I did it. It's like it didn't end up well. It's like why are we cutting our hair mid prime time season? Like this is week what 15? What are
yeah.
we doing?
Week 14. Or yeah,
14,
week
whatever it is.
15. Week 15. Now,
Week
can you
15, yeah.
honestly say there's not a world where there might need to be a little change up?
It's fine that there's a changeup, but it's still Derek, you know?
Maybe bro needs a little bit of change up. Maybe he needs that mid season spark back
That
because
extra half a pound off his body weight
but I
so
mean
he
it's
can
just
bust through.
to be honest, it's just gonna be like we're gonna talk about it for a week or two, like Joe Burrow when he dyed his hair, and it's like
But
it'll be
the
over
Burrow
with.
shit was lame as fuck. But whatever.
Yeah, it was, but you know,
Well, now
hey,
he's
Derek's
Joe Burrow's doing his own thing out there. You know what I'm saying?
Derek's still got
Good job, Burr.
Derek's still got some. I mean, you know, he's just got shorter hair. I still think the Ravens win though. I am gonna take
I
Baltimore.
mean, it's the same hairstyle. It's just short.
Well, no, he
He's got braids.
went from dreads to cornrows.
Well, he's got braids, but before he had the two big things
The
in
two
the
big
dreads.
things. God.
I don't know. I don't know anything about hair, dude.
No,
What do you want me to know about hair?
this season he was rocking dreads, and then there were years where he had it tied or twisted or braided different, but he just had dreads and he got them chopped, and now he's got cornrows and some
Yeah,
tight ass cornrows. I would
they're
say
tight.
too.
They're very
I mean,
tight.
I will say
Well,
I was
through
talking.
the top of his head, it's what it's like a figure eight type
Yeah, I
thing.
mean, I was discussing with some correspondents of dreadlocks,
I love
and
that word, bro.
they were
Nice.
telling me like, yeah, that's it's gonna hurt putting that helmet on that first week, like
Sliding that bitch on, yeah.
oof, like, and I was like,
You gonna have a cap?
and I was definitely asking questions like, so I was getting into it. I had to make sure, like, you know, I had to
How's it feel?
had to figure out, like, really, what is Derrick Henry actually gonna go through? Not much.
No,
Not much at all.
in terms of like an NFL performance, I doubt it means much to him. Maybe it's a mental thing, or maybe it's a whatever thing, but it's a little weird that it's happening.
Maybe he just wanted to cut his shit, get some fresher hair, or get some newer, some
It's
healthier
confidence thing.
hair, healthier hair. I mean,
When I
it's
get a
all it is.
haircut, it's a confidence thing. It's like I gotta lock in.
I guess. I'm assuming you're
These
taking
3 weeks, I
Baltimore.
gotta lock in because I'm a chia pet. I'm gonna start growing real quick.
I'm assuming you're going Ravens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, there is a world.
No, there's not.
It's not. It's not a world that I live in.
No, are we really gonna have this conversation where there's a world where Tommy
It's in.
fucking DeVito
It's in Baltimore,
beats?
no?
No.
It's in New York.
Yeah.
Either way, I don't give a fuck.
It doesn't matter. We both
The Ravens
know,
win.
we both know that this does not matter. Cincinnati versus Tennessee.
Cincy.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is another.
Like regardless of how bad Cincy's defense is, I'm gonna predict this game, quite honestly, to be 58-16.
I mean,
Like
I don't
this
know
could
if
be a
you.
slaughter fest.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've looked at the matchups this week, but like it's only gonna get worse.
No, I know.
Like this is bad. Like Dallas versus Carolina.
Yeah.
And like okay,
But
kind of
there's a
thinking,
world where I think Carolina has a fucking chance.
I'm kind
And
of
it
thinking
scares
like
me.
like okay, Dallas and Carolina just as a team, like who do you think really wants to win more on Sunday?
Carolina.
I think Carolina does.
I think Carolina wants to win more.
I
Like
think there
I
might
don't think
be
Dallas gives a flying fuck
there might be
about what happens.
there might be like 2 or 3 players on that roster in Dallas at this point that are like, all right, let's go out there and get them.
It's
But
Mike and
besides that,
CD. It's the bros
I
making money.
I would say no. They're the last
You think
ones
it's the
at this
bros
point.
not making money?
At this point in the season, no. Micah and CD, they don't give a fuck about what's going on.
Agreed. No.
They don't
Yeah,
care. You think
never
you
mind.
really? No.
No.
Yeah, no. Absolutely, they don't.
CD
They
don't give
a shit.
CD hasn't given a shit since week 6. He don't care.
So and to be honest, I can't say all that and not take Carolina because I'm gonna be mad at myself looking back on this, and if I don't take the
and not saying Carolina.
Give me Carolina. In Carolina, give me Carolina.
Now, I do think that Carolina will win, but for purposes of record against you, I'm gonna take Dallas.
I don't know.
Like
if
this,
catch up, bro.
I don't care if I do, but I want to get close.
You're 10 games behind.
I know, but I want to get close. But like, this is a game where it's like No, I definitely respect and I agree with the Carolina pick. But for me to like a Dallas game is the biggest chance for me to close some distance because
So
I
you're going
picked
with the
some bad games
Cowboys.
there.
So you're going with Dallas
All right,
Cowboys. All
all
right.
right,
Okay. All
but
right.
I would hopefully expect that the Carolina Panthers win this football game.
How about the Browns versus the Chiefs?
There's not a question.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Kansas City,
Yep.
and move on to the next game, which is Miami versus Houston. Which is
Houston
this is pretty much it for Miami. I mean, if Miami doesn't win this, I think their playoff chances are pretty much already out the window. But if there were any left before this game, I think they're going to be gone after this game.
What are they at record wise? 4-8?
4-8. I believe Dallas is sitting, or Dallas. I think I want to say they're sitting at 6-7.
For real?
If I'm mistaken, I could very well be mistaken.
I could also be
Yeah, they're
mistaken.
sitting at 6-7 because we talked
Okay.
about they're 6-7 sitting behind Indy, who's also 6-7, and I mean they're both in the hunt. I mean it's not gonna happen. It's not. I don't see it happening.
It could. You're taking Kansas City?
I'm taking Kansas. I'm taking Houston.
Who's my fault?
Houston, Miami. I'm taking
Who's
Houston. Houston's 8-5. They still need to. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to at this point be like they need to show something because at this point my expectation for them are maybe a playoff win.
yeah?
But I still think that Miami is a team that they need to beat. Like they should not struggle to beat this team. This should be an easy dub for Houston.
Yeah. I'm yeah. Houston.
The Jets versus the Jaguars.
Fuck. It's I hate how diarrhea this football game is because A-Rod, I guess, is playing. He shouldn't be playing after. Like, he should
Why
not
not?
be playing.
Why not?
Like, what else could he gain from him playing any more Jets football games?
I mean, it's definitely a bad look if he sits the rest of the year. I mean, he's definitely closing the book on being a Jet next year if
For
he
sure.
decides to sit off. And I did see him make a comment about he wants to figure out the curse of the Jets. Like he feels like the Jets are cursed, and he's like he
No,
wants to know why.
they are cursed, and maybe some more ayahuasca or whatever the fuck he's taking can help
Mm.
him do so. But I guess I'll take the Jets in this moment. But it's a tough,
Yeah,
weird
like
thing to.
I'll go New York Jets. I'll go New York Jets. This is I'm
Sure,
not saying I have faith in them, but I
I
will
have no
say
faith.
the Trevor Lawrence's
Like, I'm
Jaguars.
sad. I'm so sad that we put them in like potential playoff
Bro, they were gonna
or
be
before the season. Like,
before Aaron
fuck
Rodgers.
G Wilson, fuck A Rod, fuck all these guys.
And you
It's
know what's
sad.
crazy? This is what it was. Before Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles, it was like I was like, bro, they're
No,
AFC
you were
championship
saying
bound.
AFC champs
And
regardless.
you were like to you
No.
to you that was like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
You're like, what does it mean? So you weren't even saying like maybe they're better, but you're saying like like they have the potential to be a Super Bowl team. So if anything, making the AFC Championship is nothing. Like why are they just making the championship? Is that really a flex? Is that really that's what you were saying? So it was we were
Well,
putting them on a pedestal.
but because it was coming off of this this Brady stuff where it was like you pop out at a new team, and that was the idea behind this Jets team, and it was getting all these other offensive weapons and shit, and it was building this fucking roster.
He's not
But it was
Brady.
not only was the roster not there, it was the quarterback wasn't there, and it was just never there. It
He's
didn't
not.
matter.
Yeah, and
It's
he's
like we got the same team with the newer quarterback with A Rod, and we got nothing out of it.
and Yeah, I mean, and he'll just never be Tom Brady. He's not Tom. It's not.
But he don't gotta be Tom, and
And
that's
I don't
fine.
think
But
players aren't looking out for him the same way players are looking out for Tom. It's just not. No, it's not. Things just don't fall. Things just don't swing his way most
did
of
you
the
see
time.
what Aaron said about his retirement?
What do you say?
He was like, yeah, once I retire, I'm not gonna be like an analyst or he's like, you won't see me. So apparently, like once he retires, he's gone. So
Aaron
good for
Rodgers
you, Aaron.
will.
Cool.
He will
Um,
retire, and
you could retire right now, and I don't think anyone would give a fuck.
mark my words, mark him right here. If he retires, whenever he retires, within 16 months, he'll have some type of podcast or job
Agreed.
or something. Yeah,
No,
100%.
1,000%.
All right, right. Whew, almost said the forbidden former name.
Redskins.
Commanders versus Saints.
Redskins. Redskins versus Saints. I'm
Uh,
taking the Redskins.
yeah, I was gonna say hopefully a walk in the park for y'all.
It should be a blow down, bing dong, ding dong,
I mean,
throwdown, but we'll see.
when's the last time? I mean, I don't know about the Saints, but like it's just like a team like the Saints. It's like last year this would have been a problem.
For sure.
Like can y'all beat the?
Whoops.
Can y'all beat the? I forgot bro's
Can
name, but
can Taylor Heineke beat
what's his
Taysom Hill?
Saints quarterback his rookie
Rattler?
photo shoot. No, the white the rookie photo shoot. Remember he had do you not remember the infamous photo shoot where I mean he was just posing like if Sears sold football uniforms. It's
No.
like it was just, let me look him up. Let me pull his name up. Saints quarterback. Saints QB. Here we go. Saints QB. Jake Hayner.
Ah.
His rookie. If you look up you can look him up later. But his rookie
Yeah.
photo shoot is, I mean, it's the best. If anybody
Yeah.
hasn't seen it, they need to go look up Jake Hayner's
But no,
rookie photo shoot.
my first football game ever was Saints Redskins.
Mm.
It
Like
was
going to or remember watching?
going to
Ah,
in my first live football game. It was in um, FedEx Field. It was 2009, I believe. I think we won the game. It was the year that the Saints won the Super Bowl. We beat the Saints.
mm.
Santana Moss, huge touchdown, awesome game. But yeah, no, Drew Brees fucked us up a little bit and pissed on our Cheerios. But
All right.
Jason Campbell, number 17, best quarterback ever.
Buffalo versus Detroit.
This is what I meant by like there is truly one game that means so much to the NFL right now. It's like truly you can say Kansas City's top of the AFC, whatever the fuck. No one believes that. Buffalo currently is top of the AFC, regardless of what's happened. And then Detroit is top of the NFC.
Devin, this game matters.
Very much.
This game matters for so many reasons in terms of, well, in the grand scheme of things, it's one game and both of these teams are going to be in the playoffs.
Regardless. And they will be
Well,
more than likely, like Detroit will be a 1 seed and Buffalo will be a 2 seed.
yeah, because Kansas City isn't going to get knocked off again. But either way, there's playoff implications, seeding wise. But I mean,
Buffalo's way in is pretty easy after this game. It's Detroit, and then what is it? Patriots, Jets, Patriots, right?
something like that.
It's pretty. It's Detroit, and then two AFC East teams that are not good.
This is going to. I mean, The Buffalo Bill fan base is going to freak the fuck out
It's
if they
they
pull a
they
dub off.
will they'll have our heads.
Um, and
Taking Detroit.
there's
Um,
there's absolutely a world where Buffalo can win this game.
no, I think that there's a huge world where Buffalo can win this game, and I think it'll be incredibly close. What I hope and expect to happen is kind of an overwhelming offensive Detroit. Um, and I think Detroit is able to sort of parry the threat from the few receivers that they do have. I think that they can shut down Mac Hollins and Khalil Shakir and shut down a few other options over there and not cause too many problems.
I think that Detroit. I don't know. I feel like I completely get why you would take Detroit, and I could easily see a like what was the word you called it, an overwhelming just an offensive attack from
Sure.
Detroit. But I think at the same time, and maybe I'm tripping, but Detroit these last 2 weeks, I mean, it's been close. Um,
Yeah.
especially being that close with Chicago. Um,
And
Buffalo at the same time, beats Kansas City. I really feel like if they don't let the Rams get such a big lead, they probably instead of losing by 2, win by like 10.
yeah. No,
I,
agreed.
I think
And
right now, I think Detroit's the best team in the NFL, but
NFC or NFL.
NFL
NFL. Okay.
right now.
No, agreed.
And who else if not them?
No, I for sure and NFC, um, but NFL as well. But yeah, their win over Minnesota, which was very close. Their win, their 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 past few wins have been somewhat close. Um, but it's not to say that there aren't holes in Buffalo.
There's 100% holes in Buffalo, but they seem to patch them well.
They do.
They seem to patch them well, and honestly, it's just something in my gut. It's telling me Buffalo. I'm gonna go with the Bills. I'm gonna say the Bills
Totally
go. I'm
fine.
gonna say Buffalo goes into Detroit and beat the Lions.
I think that Detroit has been maybe not taking it day to day. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
they'll take day to day things as they go, but I think they've been marking this on their calendar for a while and trying to figure out how to beat the Buffalo Bills. And I think that if their defense can hold up a little bit, um, I think this offense can really take over the Buffalo Bills defense. And I will
Oh,
take the Detroit Lions in this game.
all
But
right.
all I hope for this game is a close, competitive, important game.
Yeah, not 12-6.
Not 12-6, not 48-9,
Field
not
goal city.
no bullshit.
Oh
This
no, I'll take
is
a 48-9 because that's gonna be crazy. Either way, if somebody
either way.
wins
Yeah,
this
yeah,
game 48
yeah,
to
yeah.
9, Devin, we're
If
going to
one of
talk
these
about it.
teams wins 48-9, it's gonna mean a lot.
It's gonna be a bigger conversation than
But yeah, you're
oh,
right.
it was a battle.
No 12-6 is happening.
All right, back to not
Twelve to
caring.
six elbows are illegal now.
Denver versus Indianapolis.
Denver
Yep, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. Patriots Cardinals.
Cards.
Yeah, I mean,
The
I
Cards
think
have a
they're
lot to play for.
yeah.
Like they're still in. They're still in the conversation for the West,
I do think New England can win this game,
of course.
and I won't be
Like,
shocked if they do. But I am going to go Arizona just for the sake that they do still have a chance to win their division.
I mean, this is a game that I thought would be 12-6.
Yeah, and I don't think it will be. It might be
No,
weird, like 19-26.
could
Like
be
it's gonna be
very,
something stupid like that. But
very easily.
yeah, Arizona. All right, the only other big game for this week: it's Pittsburgh and Philly. Obviously, one of the last 4 games that are gonna be pretty important for the Steelers, and they're pretty tough opponents. And we got the Philadelphia Eagles coming in to
This should
play.
be an every year occurrence.
Yeah, this is definitely
This
like a
should be
Pennsylvania.
a battle of Pennsylvania.
Do the Steelers stop Saquon or not?
Yes.
Are the Steelers' offense good enough?
If Pickens is out
It
there,
is.
and honestly, they looked okay without Pickens. It's such a weird thing because it's like, yes, Philly's defense is good.
Mm.
Philly's defense can stop Najee. Um, it's a matter of stopping the pass. Um, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a pretty close game.
Yeah, I think this game might maybe closer than
But the
Buffalo and
problem
Detroit.
is when it is a close game, Saquon has the ability to make it a not close game.
Yeah, we're not gonna sit here and pretend like Pittsburgh. Here's the thing though, Pittsburgh is so I don't know surgical. It's like
Yeah.
they might not even give Philly enough room to just try to wait for Saquon to take
No,
over.
agreed. But it's
Enough
like,
time.
how much offense does Pitt have to I guess force that
Well, enough.
and to make it not mean anything if Saquon does blow up in the fourth or the third.
I think they have enough.
Yeah,
I think they have enough. Look, I'm going Pittsburgh.
this is such a weird game.
I'm going Pittsburgh. This is going to be a bigger test and a bigger way for me to gauge both of these teams than Detroit and Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, Detroit Buffalo is. I do think even after that game is going to be difficult to judge how good both teams are. But no, I think from this game we can figure out how good each defense is, or how good Philly's offense is
Yeah, see that's the
against
thing. We know how
Philly
good
against Pitt's defense.
we know how good the Steelers defense is. It's just yeah. How good is Philly's offense?
How good is Philly's offense?
Um. But
I'm
all
gonna
right,
be
so
honest.
who you going with?
I'm taking Philly. I think it's gonna be really tight, but again, late in the game, I think Philly can take over more so than Pitt can.
Chargers versus Bucks.
Now I'm gonna need. I always forget. I need to see. Sometimes I forget who I predict, just because there's some games that are close. I'm gonna need to see a picture because sometimes on NFL Sundays, like there was one game where I was like rooting for the Browns and I picked the Steelers or some shit, and it's like
I've
I
definitely done
want
that.
to know so I know who to push for.
I'll even do that, and I'll come back to the notes to like right for the next pod, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I
Like,
know, dude.
or you, I'll forget you did. I'm like, this fucker picked Jacksonville. Like, how did he?
Yeah,
Like
dude.
he just threw that in the air. He didn't even really.
I'll just throw out a random Jacksonville over the Titans or whatever the fuck, but
It was that game.
it's
It was that
difficult.
game.
Yeah,
I had
it was
full
that
on
game.
confidence in the Titans.
Yeah, no.
Chargers versus Bucks.
Oh, Bucks. Well, fuck me. I mean, that's a third game that is pretty important. we said two, but this might be a third. Now, obviously, the Chargers don't have a true possibility of winning the division, but they got a shot at a wild card. The Bucks have a shot at the division for sure.
Baker.
I think Mike is enough. I think that the rest of that offense is enough. Now the Chargers defense is good. The Chargers offense needs to figure out how to catch passes.
No JK.
No JK. Rolling straight Gus.
I mean, this might be the
I'm
most emotional pick for me. Like, I'm going straight off emotions.
no, I'm not really taking emotion into it. Maybe a little
Eh.
bit, but also, as I said, a little bit. Have you seen Stupid down in Carolina?
Have I seen Stupid Dumb in Carolina?
No, the stupid human down in Carolina.
Who? What do you?
Xavier Leggett.
What? What do you
Where
do?
he was like, "Yeah, I eat raccoon for Thanksgiving."
He did not say that.
Yes, he said.
No,
He said, I had coon for Thanksgiving, and then we have coon whenever coming by, like we eat raccoon." And then it was on Amon Ra St. Brown's podcast, and he's like, "Eating coon sounds crazy." Um,
ugh.
but
So are you going? Who you going with?
I got the Bucks.
All right.
But no, if you listen to Xavier Leggett from college, he does not sound like the human that he is today. And even when you listen to him right now, he has holes in his accent. It's very stupid and dumb, but whatever.
I mean, I definitely think he plays into it just a little bit.
A lot, actually. Like, I don't give a fuck about the dude outside of the accent.
Green Bay versus Seattle. Give me the Packers. I don't know. Like I said, Seattle
This is an NFC Championship showdown from about 8 years ago.
Yeah, 10.
Whenever the fuck that was. Long time ago.
10 years ago.
10 years ago, yeah.
But yeah, no, I still absolutely no trust, faith, whatever you want to call it, in the Seattle Seahawks. I don't care what the record is. They're losing this game.
Yeah, I got the back.
And then our double Monday Night Football shitter, just the biggest double shitter you could possibly think of. We got Chicago versus Minnesota. Damn. Which should be pretty simple. I mean, it's
Minnesota should win this game. They've again shown flaws in their game, but Jettis will right the ship and do well.
No. And then the final game of the week, the last game people are going to be watching before Week 15 is completely finished. Got the Raiders versus the Falcons.
Awesome.
So
two true franchises who do not care what happens. It sucks.
I guess.
You see Gruden's back? You see Big Gru?
No, I didn't.
Well, he has a thing with Barstool now, which is sad. It's sad for him, but that's okay.
I guess I'll go with Atlanta. I mean, there's really not there's not many reasons to there's not much of a reason at all to have faith.
Well, there's not many reasons to take Atlanta at this point in the season outside of the fact that they are playing the Raiders, who have zero reason to.
They could still win their division.
Where are they at right now?
The Falcons?
The Raiders.
Oh, the Raiders are fucked. They're.
You were saying that the
I'm talking about the
Falcons have the Falcons definitely still have a chance for sure. I'd rather them not, or I mean, even if they do make the playoffs, I think it's very easy for them to get exposed.
But give me Atlanta.
Maybe it's time for Penix. Maybe it's time to sell the team. Maybe it's time to do whatever. I'm not sure what the Falcons need. I think the Falcons, as an organization, would have done a lot better had Tom Brady not have come back from 28-3, I think we would have been talking about the Falcons a lot differently. But here we are, and they're still a poverty
Um,
organization as we stand.
so you going with them?
The Falcons? Yeah. I'm
Okay,
going to talk
okay.
shit about them, but yes, I will.
I figured you were gonna go with the Atlanta Falcons. All right, let's talk about probably the biggest news or the biggest, at least, conversation being had this past week, and that's the Jimmy Butler trade rumors.
Mm.
Now, obviously, before the season started, he was a big name, and we were talking about all the
Huge.
destinations and places he could go to, and if there was even a possibility he wasn't on, he wasn't a part of the Miami Heat by the end of the season, and I'm
And I
pretty
think
sure.
it would have been a lot better and easier had he gone prior to the season. I think it would have made a bigger impact.
Yeah, but maybe. Hey, let's see. We'll try it out for the end of the season and see how it goes, and maybe it's like, yeah, nope, I'm still out of here. But
I
he
got to
gave a
get out of
wish
here.
list.
Sure.
He gave a wish list. The man's been dyeing his hair different colors to
Well, he
match the
gave a
teams he
wish
wants to
list
go
with his
to.
hair. Yeah, yeah. What do
So
you
let's
what do you
talk
what do you
about it.
think the wish lists are?
Well, he gave the 4 teams.
Oh, without his hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't see that.
So
All I
it's
saw was his hair was blue, gold,
okay.
and
Okay, so you don't
red.
know.
No,
Okay, so he had blue, gold, yellow, red.
yellow. I didn't get. I saw blue, gold, and red.
So
That
what do
was
you
about it.
think? What do you think his teams are?
So red, the Miami Heat.
Hey, I might stay. I,
I might stay,
I
bro.
might stay. No,
Um,
it's
I'm gonna be honest. Let me know because I'm not sure.
so. Let's talk about it. So the first team I want to talk about, obviously blue. I think
Yeah,
you can assume that is the
Denver Nuggets.
Dallas Mavericks.
All right, cool.
They're
I
literally
was wrong.
they're two blues, literally just two types of blues, and that's
Yep,
all their logo is.
yep.
Now,
Dallas
from now,
wouldn't. Dallas would
see,
suck. I don't want that.
here's the problem though, and it's the main thing we don't talk about. It's what it's gonna be like. What's it gonna take to get him to these teams? Because
Yeah, like
the man gets
who are
paid.
we giving up?
The man gets paid a shitload of money. They're obviously gonna have to give enough worth it, money
Yeah,
wise, and for just the namesake, just who you're trading for.
yeah.
Um, like, okay, first things first is like, all right, the Clay experiment's done.
Clay.
Clay's gone. That experiment is out the window. Clay
Like
Thompson's not a Mav anymore.
that's the first thing to go from it. But Jimmy's game is. I don't know. I don't know if it would add to what Luca has going on.
I mean, it definitely would be tricky on the offensive side of the ball if we're talking how it would be shared. But I mean, I love the. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I talked about like Clay joining the Mavericks, it was
The
like, all right,
Mavs.
it's like you got this guy who is gonna hit some threes if you swing it to him, but at the end of the day is another player that in reality is kind of a defensive uh
Liability.
yes, defensive liability. And I
Yeah,
think you kind of get the opposite with Jimmy
with
Butler,
Jimmy
when it's like he's gonna
for
take
sure,
on he's gonna be locked down two-way,
but
and
less offensive load.
if that is okay, like if he's able to
Yeah,
put
if he's
pride
okay
pride
with that.
aside and take a lesser of a load, then all right, I'm cool with that. But like what I was reading is it's definitely going to take a lot to get Jimmy traded to the Dallas
Yeah,
Mavericks.
which is. I mean,
Um,
honestly, it's gonna take a lot to get Jimmy anywhere, but
so what do you think his yellow and gold, or yellow and or gold were? He had
Lakers.
yellow and he had gold. So he had the Suns on his list.
I think
Uh,
that is the worst possible place for him to go.
what?
Really? You don't
J-
think that's a terrible place for Jimmy to go?
Jimmy wants to go to Phoenix. Miami is literally one of the teams on Bradley Beal's list on his non trade clause contract. It's amazing. It's the easy. I mean, this is
But
simple.
what do you think that Jim? Obviously, Jimmy adds a lot to any team that he goes to. But what do you think that Jimmy adds that Beal doesn't, offensively at least?
I mean, you don't have to worry about Beal as much as as a ball. All right, here's the thing. For me, and I think for both of us, it was like, how is the ball going to be spread? How is the love going to be spread
Yeah,
without throughout Beal, KD, and Booker?
and
I
Book,
don't
but
think that's
Jimmy would have to take a deep back seat for this Phoenix team to work. And I think that if Beal took a deep back seat, then this team could work out. But the fact that all these
but
guys are itching for,
so you don't think Booker coming down at point and having Jimmy as an option instead of Beal is better?
I'm not sure how
Especially if he's going
different
to
it is.
continue this point guard role, it's like you really don't need Beal, especially when you got KD.
But I'm not sure how important it is to have Jimmy there if you have Book bringing it down and KD. Why not
Why would it
add
not?
just a regular
Why would it not be
shooter?
important? You got a DeRozan with defense.
Yeah, I know, but for Jimmy to thrive, he has to have that bitch.
Does he?
Yes,
Does he though?
I would believe so. I mean, he's done it
I
for the
don't know.
past 5 years,
I don't know if
five
he
six
does,
years.
and I don't think he's dumb enough to expect that. Look at okay, he has Dallas
Well, I
and
wouldn't think that Beal was dumb enough to expect that, but clearly he is.
he has Dallas and the Phoenix Suns on his wish list. Do you think he knows he's not going to see the ball as much as he does in Miami?
I
Like, you really think he
guess, but
doesn't know that?
but the other two teams that we're assuming who they are, obviously you know who they are. I'm not really entirely sure, but I'm assuming that I guess he would take a slightly bigger role in some other team. Maybe he doesn't want to take a bigger role, but if I was Jimmy and I was looking at those teams, I don't know. I
I don't
mean,
know. To me, I like that even more than just the level wise. KD, Book, and Jimmy. I like that more than Luca,
but you got
Kyrie, and
you
Jimmy.
got three dudes who are trying to shoot mid range, three dudes who are trying to throw
It's
up a
not, but
couple
it's
threes.
not what it is. It's not the Phoenix Suns. It's not just three dudes trying to shoot, just trying to shoot. It's not. It's
That's
not.
what the Suns are right now, and
It's
that's the
not.
same thing if
It's
Jimmy Butler was there instead of Beal.
no. I think you got a better defensive team, and I mean, I think you don't have to share the love as much.
I think we need a better offensive team, and a better offensive team would be pulling a piece away from this team. So if
Okay,
you pull a piece away, you don't have to replace it with a Jimmy Butler. You
but
pull Bradley Beal away, now you have
pull him
more
away
shots for Book
and
and
do
KD.
what? Pull him away and do what with him?
Who?
Pull Bradley Beal away from Phoenix and do what with him?
You trade for a defensive piece who's not looking for the ball.
No, Devin. Here's the thing: if you trade for Jimmy, you're automatically getting a player who's not expecting as many looks as Bradley Beal. Jimmy
Not
ain't
as many,
fucking
but he's going to be expecting looks. It's
bro. It
Jimmy
don't matter.
Butler.
Jimmy's never been the scoring leader in the NBA, so no,
I
he's not
understand, but
expecting
he's
the amount of looks as he
going to
is.
be looking for looks.
But he's bro. But he's not.
He's not a Klay Thompson, yo, pass me the ball whenever the fuck you want. I'm spot up. He
But he's
wants the
not looking
ball.
for the ball as much as Bradley is.
I understand, but he will
But I'm
want it.
saying if you give just KD and B and Book a combined 10 more looks, I think you got a better offense. With besides just adding some random wing guy that can play defense, you still have a Jimmy Butler.
But I would rather have a wing guy who can play defense
But I don't but I
on
feel like
that fucking KD team.
you might lose too much.
No, I don't think you are. I don't think you're
I think
losing
you
anything if you
are.
lose a
I
Beal
think you're
and
putting too much into
18 shots
this
a game.
dynamic duo. It's not enough, bro.
I think it can be if they
It's
execute.
it's not, especially with
You
KD
have the
skill.
greatest, one
Bro,
of the greatest
KD.
shooters of all time, and then you got Devin Booker.
I
I
mean,
think it's
KD
very
at this.
possible.
I don't know, especially with KD already dealing with injuries. I don't.
Book was doing better with him and CP, so I don't understand how you would need more than Book,
So we're
KD,
looking.
and just a defensive piece.
We're looking at a world where you are going to have to replace Bradley Beal with somebody worth it. So you
I think the
cannot just
I
go
thought
out
that the
and get.
problem with Beal was that he was taking too many shots. He was taking
And
up
if you
too
get
much space on the court.
if you, I don't understand how many times if you get Jimmy, you got a guy that's gonna expect less shots,
I know, but how many less shots are we talking?
enough that are gonna go to KD or Book.
All right, but
And
I
then
just think that Jimmy still wants to be Jimmy.
when they do go to Jimmy, they will be worth it. I think he's more efficient. I don't know.
Jimmy
I think
wants to be Jimmy, and I think for Jimmy to be himself, he has to be on a team that's maybe not as
okay,
stacked
but
with talent.
take these goggles off where you think Jimmy wants to be Jimmy, and maybe he has a wish list of teams that he thinks he can go and win a fucking championship with.
All right,
It's
maybe
like
Jimmy wants to take less shots.
it's
I
like
think
okay,
he
so
can.
you're but
I think he,
with all the drama in Phoenix, you think he's gonna go there and go, damn, like KD feels like he's in the corner. I better get my shots. Like he's not stupid. He knows what
but
he's walking into if he went there.
he, agreed. But what is he expecting to do in Phoenix?
Bro, be a part of a team that can actually make a fucking playoff run.
But what's his role? So is it just Book KD doing their thing, and then Jimmy's there?
Yes,
Like I'm not.
being a defensive and mid range anchor. I mean
Then get
that's
Marcus
all it
Smart.
is. Devin, you can't trade Bradley Beal for Marcus Smart though.
I know you can't.
So that's what I'm saying. So
But
no,
you
you
can
can't.
trade
But
Bradley Beal for pieces and then pick up Marcus Smart
but no,
at some
you
point.
can't just pick up Marcus Smart. What are you talking about? You can't just pick up
You
Marcus
can
Smart.
trade different guys for Marcus. But
No, this
what I'm
isn't.
saying is like I think that in a perfect world and in a world where Book and KD want to play
This ain't a
off of
perfect
each
world.
other, but Jimmy to me at least is not an entirely individual. Fuck. um,
Jimmy shares the love. I don't know where you get this idea where it's
no,
like
Jimmy
all fucking
shares,
ISO
but
ball when Jimmy gets the
no,
rock.
it's not ISO ball, but Jimmy is meant to be a team leader.
If anything, all Jimmy wants is people that can knock down more fucking shots when he gives them the opportunities to. I mean, he's just praying Tyler Hero
But
is
Jimmy
takes.
wants to shoot.
Bro,
Jimmy wants to be there and shoot.
no, he doesn't.
You're telling me Jimmy
You
doesn't
obviously
want to
don't.
shoot.
You think Jimmy Butler goes on a basketball court and he's like, I just want to shoot. I just want to shoot. No, that's
No,
Kevin
I'm not
fucking
saying that, but
Durant.
I'm saying that
That's
Jimmy
a
does
Klay
want to
Thompson.
shoot. I'm not saying
Bro,
Jimmy just wants to shoot. I'm saying Jimmy
every
wants to
basketball
shoot.
player wants to shoot a basketball. But what I'm saying is, I do not think he's walking in like 2 years ago, Bradley Beal averaging 30 fucking points a game, expecting to get that many shots to even get close to that. The man,
But
if anything, has been banking on Tyler Hero to take the next step every fucking year.
agreed.
And
But
he's been waiting for him to do it. He's been waiting for him to take the next step.
but
It's not happening.
if Jimmy thinks that it's just Jimmy at his best plus a better Tyler Hero and a slightly better and he's that close a slightly better what's his nuts who's their 6'9" big man
Bam.
Bam. He's a slightly better Tyler Hero and a slightly better Bam away from a championship. What makes him think that he can go to a Phoenix team where I personally don't think that he will be able to slide into as easily and make a championship team?
Why? That's you're assuming he's walking in expecting to be the number one. And one more
Well,
time,
everywhere Jimmy's gone in recent history is where he's
bro.
wanted to
Jimmy
do his thing.
knows.
Jimmy's been on a team for 5 years where he's been the number one.
So
I
why would
don't
he
know
have
how
this?
quickly
Why
he
would he
can
have
turn
this?
around and say, "No, I'm
Why would
not
he
going to be
have
the."
this on his wish list? Why would he say you? So you think at this point you're saying Jimmy is dumb enough to think he could go to Dallas and be the number one?
I'm not saying he's dumb enough, but I'm just not saying with Phoenix. I'm
Maybe
not
he's.
saying even if he was the number three, I'm not saying it's a good number three.
I
It's
think
a
it's
it's a good number three, but I'm
dude.
not
You
saying it's a
just said
championship
get
level
fucking
number three.
Marcus Smart.
That was a joke.
No, it wasn't. You were not joking.
You said a defensive guy who can
And you said
shoot
get
a
that
little bit.
instead of Jimmy Butler. I wouldn't take that over Jimmy Butler.
I understand.
Maybe Jimmy Butler's 33 and realize that he needs to just go to a team that has a fucking championship roster, and that might be the Phoenix Suns.
Maybe.
I mean,
and that would be awesome if Jimmy can take a different role on this team. But for the past 5 years, he's been the leader of a team, and
maybe players learn from past mistakes of others and see someone like, I don't know, Russell Westbrook, who went on to learn like, oh shit, I got a different role. Like I got a whole completely different role to play now. And I think he's doing a great job at it as of right now.
He is.
And I think Jimmy Butler can do the same.
I think he can. But it's weird to, like, Russ didn't jump into 5 years of being point guard to straight up sitting on the bench and playing well.
But I don't know. You don't think Jimmy might look at that and go, all right, well, let me look at some things not to do. And maybe that's go to a team with two superstars and expect to be able to run the team, like Russ going to the Lakers.
I'm gonna be honest. Jimmy. Even if the Suns thing works out, I don't see a Suns with Book, KD, and Jimmy being atop the league.
I guess so. Okay, then the other team. You think Houston? You want to just see him go to Houston instead?
I don't.
You want to see me? You want to see him just waste his time in Houston?
No, but I think that I don't even know what I think.
That's what I'm saying though. Like
it could be more plausible. It could be more plausible than the other cities. A lot easier for Houston to get him than some of the other places.
Dude,
but that's that. So that's the end of his list. Is those
There's
4
one
teams?
more team. Well, we didn't talk about the fourth.
Oh, 3 teams. Sorry.
But I'm saying, okay. I mean, going to Houston is the biggest lateral move or lateral step possible.
By far.
You're going to a team with some role players and young guys that could possibly do something in the future, but it's not gonna. There's absolutely no reason if he is what he is not willing to accept if he remains in Miami is exactly what he's gonna get, if not less, if he goes to Houston. So there's really no point. So what I'm saying is,
probably less. Not only is he gonna be ousted from the number 1 spot, he will receive less in terms of success and all the other things that come with it. Yeah. And Houston is probably it's like by far the worst.
As a fan, but also just know what would be a more dominating team. It's like, no, Dallas or fucking Phoenix.
For sure.
I think but see, it's also like, because it's like no matter what team it is, they're gonna have to give up a good amount or good set of pieces.
Good chunk.
You could say, oh, but Dallas is gonna give up this, and Phoenix is gonna give up this. Well, Houston's gonna have to give up this, and give up that. So it's it's, and then that takes me to the fourth team, which is people are talking about it. It's Golden State.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, okay, Jimmy.
Sorry,
but see,
I have a question, really quick.
What's up?
Do you think that Phoenix is looking at their issues currently and saying a fix to our issues is Jimmy Butler?
I don't know if any organization right now is like, this specific player is the answer to our prayers, but I do think that Phoenix,
or the Mavs,
I do think both of those teams, with the knowledge that Jimmy has interest in coming to play for them, it's Jimmy Butler. I mean, do you think Phoenix thought they were a Bradley Beal away?
Well, obviously they did.
But I'm saying,
they were very wrong. No, you're right. So they're incredibly wrong. And clearly Dallas thinks that they're Klay Thompson away.
you are replaced, and that's the thing. See, like, let's stop the
Yeah,
disrespect.
no,
If they're a
no,
Klay Thompson or Bradley Beal away, they can be a
I
Jimmy
agree.
fucking Butler away.
No,
What
I
are we
agree.
doing? We're Jimmy
Yeah.
Butler away. That's all
No,
we are.
if you're a Bradley Beal or a Klay Thompson away, you're definitely a Jimmy Butler away for sure.
But I don't like Houston. To me, that's a waste of time.
No, I agree. For
But
sure.
Golden State,
But no, Golden State, yeah.
it's like, okay,
That's a
they
good
probably
point.
have the best options. You know, they're saying like they could give up Andrew Wiggins, give up Kuminga, but you do
Yeah.
something like that, it's okay. This is
You
your
can
plan,
definitely give up Kuminga and
but it's
get
win
a
now.
better.
It's win now. Because
Golden State is the prime example of win now.
to me, I
I
think
guess Phoenix is a little bit, but no, Golden State for sure.
Dallas and Phoenix can eat a year or two.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think
I don't
if
think Curry can eat a year or two.
If Golden State gives up one of their best remaining role players and gives up one of the only young guys they still have hope in, and then
Yeah,
run with the core three of Jimmy, Steph, and Draymond Green, this is y'all better go on a run this season or
yeah,
else.
yeah. No, for sure.
There's absolutely
Now I don't think they have to give up Kuminga and or Wiggins and now Wiggins. Now I'm not saying
I don't know that
I'm
money.
no. What
The money's the
what
biggest problem.
what I'm saying is like it won't be Kuminga and Wiggins. It'll be Kuminga and the 13th guy on the bench. Or
Maybe,
Golden State thinks that
maybe,
they will be fine with just
but it's the
so and so
money.
and whatever.
It's the money. It's the money. The money is the problem.
For sure.
The
Steph's
man makes a lot
making
of money.
a nutso amount
Um,
of money, and a lot of guys are making a crazy amount of money. But
Out of the four, who would you want to see? Who would you want to see get him?
I think Golden State is the best role for him. Um, Again, I think it's difficult for him to fit into a Maverick. Not, I mean, you have a very sturdy point guard in Kyrie, and then you have a point, a guard point esque type of player in Luca who can spread the ball and get rebounds and shoot well and do whatever. Um, Plus Klay Thompson over there, and then in Phoenix, like it's like for I think for Phoenix to do well, they just have to strip back what they have. I think that they can add some not shittier players, but some different types of bigs, just throw in some defensive guys. You don't need more offense on that team. You have Book, you have KD. Get a guy down low, get a guy in the corner, spread it out a little bit, relinquish some of that star power, rock with the two stars, and then kind of spread it out from there. And then the Rockets, like you said, just a big waste of time. Um, but yeah, I think the best option out of all of this would be to give Jimmy a team, which they haven't done in
Well, I was going to ask you. So,
5 years.
Is there a world he stays? Is there a chance he stays?
There is, and that's if they get a piece that he needs, which would be a big, and because
You can't get a big. You can't put a big on Miami unless you're either replaced. No, you can't. Bam's
but
not.
you have Bam, but Bam's 6'9". He's not doing anything crazy
But you
defensively. He's doing
cannot.
right.
If you move Bam to the four, you are throwing your season away.
I'm saying boot Bam.
That's a lateral step. That's all right. We got a big now. We got a bigger big. We got a bigger big. Cool. We got a bigger.
Maybe
I
get
like
maybe get
Dallas.
maybe get Poopy Gobert.
I like Dallas because of okay. You look at like KD and Book, and it's like what you're really looking at is like how many shots are they going to share. You
Yeah,
look at Luca, and it's like, all right, like how many times are you going to have both of them? Like it's just the way Luca can play on both sides of the ball,
yeah,
going for rebounds and all this. It's like you're gonna have Jimmy and Luca out there hustling for boards. You're gonna have You're gonna have Luka out there just being the playmaker he is, being able to find Jimmy in better situations. That's the thing. It's like Jimmy. This whole thing about you thinking it has to go through Jimmy. I think there's a chance that Jimmy might want to go and be a guy who it's like think about how easy it is to um like even guys put it like playing for with Luka or LeBron. It's like how easy it is to just go to where you need to go and you're
Yeah.
going to get that ball to you. And it's like, what if there is a chance where Jimmy wants a little bit of that stress off his back and go, you know what? We got one of the
Well,
best passers in the league. And look, I don't gotta worry about carrying the ball because of or bring the ball down because of Kyrie and Luka. Kyrie's gonna get his looks. Uh, Luka's gonna get his looks, but they both also look to give other players looks.
yes.
And I think if we're gonna talk about out of the between them and Phoenix and what it what would it look like sharing the love, I think it'd be easier in Dallas.
Yeah. I mean, we did see pretty big glimpses of that in Philly. I think that's where Jimmy started to take on that secondary role as a teammate, like,
Mm-hmm.
and in a positive way. Like Jimmy was impactful for Philly during that year, or however long that was, however long he was in Philly with the fucking ninja headband or whatever. Which fuck them banning that shit. That's
That was the
garbage.
dumbest band in NBA
That's the
history. I'm
dumbest
sorry.
fucking
That was
band.
such a
Like those
stupid
headbands
band.
are tough. It's
We're a
bullshit.
ninja headband.
You can't. You have to wear a
Okay.
full wraparound headband. Yeah, go fuck yourself, Adam Silver. Um, but again, like the past 5 years, it's been like Jimmy on his own. But no, I think if Jimmy could revert to the way that he played in Philly, I think he could very, very well fit into the Mavericks offense and defense.
Okay. All right. So last thing, someone who did find a home. Uh, we got Bill Belichick.
What the fuck?
So how do you feel about Bill Belichick being the new head coach for the University of North Carolina?
Chapel Hill, baby. Um,
How do you feel about it?
I don't know. Like to me, it's like I'm trying to compare it to something. It's like I can't even think of what to compare it to. There's so many like things. It's like when an MLB player has a huge career in the MLB, and it's a Dominican player and they're very good at baseball, and then they decide to play 2 years in the Dominican League and no one gives a flying fuck. Like this to me does not impact his legacy by any means. It does not impact anything about him at all. Um, yes, it's cool, and yes, if he does well with them, it's very important and whatever. But to me, it's I don't know. It doesn't mean anything. It's whatever
So yeah, so to say, so you're saying it means nothing.
for him. Yes. Now for the University of North Carolina, I think this is a big step for them to not step away from being a basketball school, but for them to kind of put their name back into being a football school.
And what exactly is telling you that?
The acquisition of Bill Belichick, and that's it.
So what like what in your mind is telling you that Bill's gonna be able to, I don't
Nothing.
know, get kids that want to come play for him?
Well, I think the name is
Mm. Well,
important, but outside
we
of that, I think he has zero ability to recruit.
we have lived in a generation where all the kids right now looking to pick their college or where, decide where they want to go play have an opinion on Bill Belichick.
That is very
know
true.
what it's like to be coached by
That's
Bill
very
Belichick
true.
because of all the stories told. Let's be real. You could just be a fan of Julian Edelman's podcast and know, wow, it would be a pain in the
Well,
ass.
at the same time, it's like there's a lot of this country that is not and has never been a fan of Bill Belichick. Like there have been, like when Brady left New England,
Mm.
there were a lot more Brady fans, and there was a lot more Brady appreciation that came up after the Tampa win. With Bill, it all kind of stayed in the New England area. And yes, there's appreciation for who he is, but not really a fandom about.
And see, and that's the thing. It's like Deion Sanders. We give him shit, but he ain't no Deion Sanders. Bill
And
isn't
it's like
coming in and
there,
dropping.
that was my first. That was one of my first thoughts. It was like there's a lot less pull from Bill than there is Dion.
Like Bill's not
Like
going
Bill
in
doesn't.
and
Bill is going to try to diminish the individual
yeah. I mean, he diminishes
figure.
NFL pros. Do you really think he's gonna go to some high school quarterback and be like, "Look, we really need you here.
We really
We
need
really
we want
would.
you to be a star. We're gonna do this and that. And
We
like
really."
Dion's thing was like we're gonna take your obviously your on field ability, but also your personality and your name and your image and your likeness and try to build that. And I think Bill's thing is to I don't want to say diminish, but to make everyone feel like they are all the same. And
See, but like also, I think Bill, like these kids don't give a fuck.
no.
So, and what I mean by that is like they're already making
And
millions of
that's why
dollars
Saban left. Saban left because
because of
no one cares about the Saban name.
they're already making millions of dollars,
Yes.
and Bill Belichick, I just don't really see. I, ju- I to me it seems like all college kids would be like any player that he wouldn't be able to stand. Like a bunch of players who are in it for themselves and just want to make as much money as possible and could care less about winning football games. And
Yeah.
it's like no, is this? And you pick UNC. It's like why not more of a winning culture or a
I
team
mean,
with more of a?
why are we picking an ACC football team?
Why are we picking college football? Like the
That's the
goal is
biggest
to
thing. It's
get
like
to
you
the
have
pros.
there are NFL teams out there looking for you, and I think there are tons of NFL teams that would have taken him in any capacity. Um, but for him to take a college job and an ACC job, I don't think it means anything. And I think for Bill, I guess it's like there's no way to diminish his career. This won't
There's
be
a
a
couple
hamper
ways.
on his career. Like the worst part about Bill's career was the last what 4 years.
Well, no, if Bill goes and shits the bed and like has a 2 or 3 year stint with UNC that ends ugly, it's like this is definitely going to tarnish.
But 10 years down the road, no one's gonna care. Like,
People definitely.
Does anyone know what happened to Don Shula after he left the NFL? Does anyone know what happened to Vince Lombardi or any of these coaches after they left the NFL? No one cares.
I mean, in the social media era, I think it's more relevant, and it's
Or
going to just
or
be talked about more.
what's his nuts from New York, the Giants, Parcells. Like, no one
I,
cares what the fuck you do after your NFL career,
I don't
especially
know.
being that successful.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't say that. I say
But
Eric
with
Bieniemy.
Bill's legacy, with
Eric.
six
Good.
Super Bowls, I don't think there's anything that can tarnish his legacy.
Yeah, but it's just like we were looking for the next chapter of his coaching career, and it's like
It's a
UNC was not even
it's
on.
8 steps
It wasn't
backwards,
even
and
on the.
it's
It wasn't
sad.
even on my radar,
No, it's
and he's not recruiting anybody. It's not happening. He's
no,
not going
no.
to come in and dick suck some dude to come play for his college, and he's not going to motivate these kids to want to play football. I don't
No.
understand. The NFL is the pinnacle. That's where you want to be, unless you have that motivation or drive to want to build players up and get them ready
I
for
don't
the
think he
league.
does. And
You
to me,
don't.
this is it's like a weird safe move,
I think it's an awful move. I don't think it's safe
and
at all.
it. I know I think it's an awful move, but I don't think it hurts him in any way, and I think his dumb 20-some-year-old girlfriend may have something to do with this. But either way, who cares?
I don't know. I just don't. I'm not convinced that there's this idea that like there's no way Bill Belichick could tarnish his legacy.
You think he can?
Yeah, if he goes and has an awful 2 or 3 year run, I mean,
Yeah,
it's like okay, now we're looking at it. It's like, all right, so you had the most success with the most talented professional players ever.
yeah,
But when you have to build from the ground up with teenagers,
yeah,
you can't win. You can't make a bowl game. Like
yeah,
there's a conversation to be had there.
yeah.
Um,
I don't know.
I
It's
don't
it's
like it.
such a it's a weird. It's a very weird move. Like I think we all expected him to land an NFL job, or at least to be in talks with NFL teams
Dude, I saw Cincy.
after the season. Like I was expecting him to start this process after the season, not
Yeah,
now.
and once I saw like last week, they were like, "Yo, what if Bill went to Cincy?" I was like, "Holy
Yeah,
shit, Bill
that's what I'm saying.
Belichick with
It's like
Joe Burrow like that."
there's
Come
so
on.
many things he could have done, and
I mean, I will say it will bring attention to
UNC
UNC.
football
Like, I mean,
for sure.
people will care to talk about them and see what's going on with them a little bit more.
I guess this is the new Colorado.
This is the other Colorado,
This is
Colorado and
the
UNC.
Colorado of the East. Yeah, but
But
I, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's that impactful for him to go there. Um, honestly, I think he would have been totally fine if he just showed up on the Manning cast 6 times a year and did his thing and fucked off for a little bit. I think he still could have done fine. Um,
I think
also,
he'd be all right.
I don't know. I wish Tom Brady would have, I don't know, not done the
Oh my
commentary career.
God, there's nothing
That's just
wrong
me
with
though.
Tom Brady. We've talked about this all
I know, but
year, and
it makes him look like
you
he's
know
not
it
a
doesn't
person
matter.
who has to go and do
But you don't care.
Fox
It
Sports
doesn't
stuff.
affect you. Besides these 2 hours we record, it literally does not affect
It
you at all.
doesn't. It doesn't.
It
But
doesn't. It
it's
doesn't
upsetting
matter.
to me that he thinks that has to be a part of his career. I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think he thinks that. I think he got a fucking bag
He did.
and
You're right.
he's commenting and he's watching football on
And
Sundays. Like, oh,
I bet Bill got a crazy bag to go there. Bill got an absurd
yeah,
bag.
I'm sure. But all right, we talked Thursday Night Football. We talked Week 15 games. Jimmy Butler destinations. Bill Belichick cutting off Tar Heel hoodies as we speak. The
Yeah.
sleeves of the hoodies as we speak. I
Well,
guess
there
what is
was
it?
the whoever the guy was to the press conference showed up in a cut off suit
Well,
to
either
try to be
that or
funny.
I need Bill Belichick and just the freshest Jordans on. I
All
mean, this is
Jordan.
all
Jordan the
Jordan, but it's
fuck
like,
out, dude.
but like, what if Mike's like, yo, don't be cutting my fucking hoodies up and shit. Like,
That'd be sick,
don't.
dude.
But no. Here it
No,
is.
no,
They
no.
come out.
Jordan makes a yes, exactly.
There
Jordan
we
makes
go.
a Bill
Okay, yeah, we're
Belichick
on.
cut off.
No,
There is no I'm cutting them. They make
100%. They make it like purposely like fucked up and like frizzy at the end. Yeah,
little
hundred
frail. Yeah,
percent,
exactly.
hundred
Yeah, hell
percent
yeah.
do that.
Dead ass. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No. Good for Bill. He's got a 24-year-old girlfriend who
Maybe
does
she
not want his money at all.
maybe she enrolled.
She could be. I'm not sure about her past or her present or whatever, but maybe she gets a discount on her master's degree or something.
She might.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel bad for Bill. I would much rather see Bill with a 60-year-old woman than her, but
I
that's
don't
just me.
think I. I don't,
I
I
think
don't
Bill
feel
would say
bad for Bill at
otherwise,
all.
but
I think you're the only person that feels bad for Bill Belichick.
fuck.
You're like, dude, you just went, God, dude, I feel bad for Bill. I wish he was
But
just
no,
fucking
no,
fucking some old lady right now.
no. What I'm saying is, it's cool if Bill had hooked up with a 24-year-old woman. But the fact that he is now entangled in an entire thing with this woman who may
Are
or
they?
may not be calling shots.
Is he? Do we even know if they're like still a thing?
Brother, they are more than a thing than ever.
How do you know? Do you see it?
She followed the UNC football team, and she's
God.
they're very much a part of each other's life. You know who Bill is, dude. Bill's a little simp ass little
Well,
boy,
Bill's
dude.
just getting stroked out.
No,
It's
no,
cool.
Bill's there to catch anything that comes his way, dude.
It is what it
And
is.
if it's a
I can't.
24-year-old looking for 80-year-old dudes, then
It's
he's there for it.
then at some point, game is just game.
It ain't game, bro. It's
It's game.
dollar signs,
It's
brother. It ain't no game involved.
Devin. It's game. It's game right here.
That's not
It's
no.
game. It's
I can
game.
guarantee she does not give two fucks about football.
All right. I guess it's time to get out of here though. We we talked everything we need to talk about.
Was she born when Bill won his first? Maybe.
Maybe she was like 2, 3 years old.
I think
No,
she's
no.
24, so she was probably born around the same time.
Yeah, she was
It
literally
was
a baby,
2000,
probably. Yeah, she was a baby. She was
2001.
an infant.
Yes.
But
Good for Bill.
brand new episodes every Tuesday and Saturday. We'll be back on Tuesday to talk about all Week 15 games. Maybe there'll be more teams added on to Jimmy Butler wish list. I don't know. Maybe some other ridiculous decisions made by former NFL head coaches. But I guess with all that being said, Devin, I guess I'll ask again: is there anything you want to say before we get out of here officially?
I mean, I can see like a guy like Chip Kelly going back to
For sure,
NCAA,
for
but
sure.
not Bill, and I feel bad for the guy. Whatever, he can do his.
Whatever. It don't matter.
I
Well,
don't feel bad. Never mind.
hopefully you enjoyed this episode of On It. Like I said, brand new episodes every Saturday and Tuesday. We will be back on Tuesday. It has been me. It has been Devin. It has been real. We are out.
Bill.